What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Truth About Him podcast, #1 podcast for men's mental health and wellness. I'm Anthony.
I'm Barron.
So welcome back to this week's show. We're, as always, excited to be here.
Absolutely.
You know, being in the house with good company. So first thing of business, how was your week?
Week was interesting. I was productive. We got a lot of stuff done. Completed a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff down the pipeline for us. So I'm happy that I was able to successfully complete something and now move on to the next one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff that we have.
Like what?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. like what? Like we always say we got stuff coming down the line, but we never say specifically like what. So like what? As you guys can probably see, we have the Bro Code of Confidence journal that's coming out. Be ready for you guys digitally within the next couple of weeks, if not next couple of days.
Actually, it's available now, so it's
available now.
So look in the description, get the link, click it, and get the book.
Get the book. So get the journal. It's definitely a. I give it a life-changing. If you really invest in it and you really get introspective with it, I think that one book is going to be different for everybody. Yeah. As you read it, you're going to grow your own confidence. As you read it, you're going to know exactly where you are in your specific level of confidence and make actionable plans to either improve, enhance, or stay where you're at as far as your confidence goes. So I'm excited about it. As I was writing it, it kind of like made me become more confident in myself as I wrote it, because I answered the questions. I did the work in the journal. So I'm actually on that pathway of building my own self-confidence. So I encourage you guys all, click the link, grab it. I don't think you're gonna regret it. So that's one thing we have going on.
What is confidence? Confidence is the cornerstone for men. It is more than just a good feeling about oneself. It is a belief in one's own ability, one's worth, the capacity to navigate challenges successfully. That is what the Bro Code of Confidence offers. It is a space for you to examine your life, uncover your strengths, and unlock your full potential. Click the description down below. I guarantee you this journal will impact your life, will strengthen you, and build confidence within yourself.
Man of the House will be coming out within the next couple of weeks as well. Let one tell it, it's out right now. Man of the House is ready for you guys. I don't want to give too much about Man of the House. It's definitely a book that I think that everyone should read, man or female. It's a self-reflective, introspective look in your own life, and how can you build on that and make it better. So we just take the man as the physical house, and you build from the foundation to the ceiling. Love it. I'm not gonna give too much away about that, but it's a great concept. It's a great idea that I'm very proud of. So those are just one of the two things that we have coming down the line, and there's more, but I'm not going to.
The mantle.
The mantle was. See, we have so much, bro.
Just talk about the
mantle. Right. The mantle was. I think as we get better, as we go on, it gets better to us. The topics get better. The participation gets better. So I was excited about the mantle last night. We actually covered it, and was actually able to catch it, do it, be effective. And I didn't miss any Dodger games. I was there at the end, so I saw pretty much the whole thing. So we didn't get in the way of sports or anything. So the mantle is something that, if you don't know what the mantle is, check in. It's basically a weekly Zoom call where we encourage others, like-minded men. We come together and we share, and it's very impactful. And it's every Wednesday, 7 p.m. We can get with one of us to get the Zoom link, but it's very impactful. I encourage you. Down in the comments.
Descriptions, get it.
Down in the description. So it goes down in the descriptions. But yeah, the mantle is it's starting to catch fire, and I'm excited about that as well, bro. What was your thoughts about the mantle last night?
Great thoughts. We talked about being in your happy place.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a good engagement, good conversation, good worksheet, and I like how everybody had something good to say, but they answered the questions with excitement, with vigor. Like they, every time you ask a question, that was, you know what, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
That's a good question. So I think it was really, really good.
And everybody had different answers too. I love that part. Was able to see different answers, and that makes you look at things differently, different perspectives. So it's why we do this stuff. So it's to gain perspective and to get insight. So anytime that we can do that, I think it's successful. It's a thumbs up for me. So I can't wait to see what next week is going to be like. The mantle's going to probably catch fire. So if you're not on, you need to get on. Mantle is fire. So
there. Awesome.
Be a part of that conversation.
You ready to do this?
Like Brutus, let's do it.
So we doing part two.
Part two
of the 5 things that men wish women knew about them. But this is part 2, so we're doing 10, right?
Right.
So 5 more. So the first one was 5. This one's 5. So we about to hop into the content. You excited?
I'm excited. We gonna hit this one, and we gonna see. I mean, last week was we had an interesting 5, so I can't wait to see what this 5 is gonna look like for us.
All right. So the first one is. It's number 1 of the 5 things that men wish women know about them. Number 1 is they or we want to feel like we're enough. Right. Men sometimes struggle with the pressure of being everything at once: provider, protector, lover, friend. Knowing the efforts are enough, and that they are accepted for who they are is critical for their sense of fulfillment. Right. So I'm gonna say, this is 100% true, right? Because I do struggle with the pressure of being everything, of trying to fulfill everything, protect everybody, and be that one that stands in the gap, right? T.D. Jakes, French preacher, he had a scenario, or what's the right word I'm looking for? Basically, he talked about how men stand in the front and have a family in the back. He says that when a storm is coming, a tsunami, a hurricane is coming, I stand in front and I take all that, and my family just feels the sprinkles of the rain, right? All the thunder, lightning, the winds. You don't feel it because I stand there. I like that. However, that does add some pressure to who we are. Now that pressure is something that I'm totally willing to take on, right, as a man. But having that pressure, you need an outlet. Every time there's some pressure built up in your body, a doctor goes and makes a cut to relieve that pressure, right?
Yep.
So the pressure can be sometimes protecting some of your organs, right? So I think the pressure can be good, but we do want to feel like that our efforts are enough. We do want to have our family, the ones who are with us, recognize what we do, appreciate what we do. And it can be verbal, it can be physical, it can be gifts, it can be something just showing that, hey, you know what, dad, father, husband, you did good, right? Or I see you.
It's just I know we're doing our podcast and it's directed for, we want to help the men, but we also say that it's for the ones that love them as well. So we're supposed to be the protectors. I don't want to get our audience confused and say we're not supposed to protect our family. Right. But we're supposed to be that way. We're men. We're supposed to provide. We're supposed to always ask ourselves, are we doing enough? But how much more will we, or how less will we ask ourselves that question if we had those subtle forms of affirmation, if we had those, I appreciate you, sweetheart, or dad, you're doing a great job, or, those things we're like,
it's fuel.
It's fuel for us. And sometimes, if you let a car run on E, whatever car it is, if you let that car run on E, you mess up a lot of the internal components of that car. Yeah. But if you keep your car full and you keep your tank full, you don't let your tank go below half a tank.
Right.
No matter how bad or no matter where you're driving, you're always going to have and be enough.
Yeah.
So I think that's what that's where we're at now, where we have to make sure that we are, that we get those necessary, we call those attaboys. We get those, we get those attaboys, because what we want our counterparts to know is we don't need much.
Yeah.
We don't need a whole lot. We just, every once in a while, we want to be seen. We want to know that our efforts are being seen. We want to know that our efforts are being impactful to our families. And if we never hear it, eventually we're going to get tired. It's going to get tiring. It's going to wear on us, because we're doing all this work. We're putting up all this pressure, and we don't feel that we are enough for our family. Imagine the pressure that we put on ourselves. We put on ourselves enough. Right. Am I enough? Am I enough just in my current space? Am I enough? Am I doing enough for my family? Could I do better? Yeah. Those times where you have downtime, you realize sometimes I know I do. I feel like I can do more. Yeah. And I don't give myself a chance to rest. Mm-hmm. And because I always feel like I could do more. I never want to see. I made it a point when I was a young father, growing up. I never wanted my kids to see me laying down. Okay. I never wanted here's the reason why. I never wanted let's say when my daughter and my sons were younger, I never wanted them to see me laying down, and they go to school or wherever they go, and then they come back and I'm still laying down. Gotcha. Yeah. That's a problem. I always would tell them, like, that's a problem if you are laying down when I leave and you're laying down when I come home. Right. That's a problem. That means I don't know what you've done in that span, but what I see is laziness. Right. What I see, I can only assume what I don't see. So just imagine that pressure that we put on ourselves. Like, I want to make sure that visually what my kids see is production, working hard, going out there and getting it, no matter what the situation outside may be. I'm going out no matter what, because I want them to see that my actions and not just my words. I want them to see, well, my dad did this. Yeah. So this is my expectations. My dad takes me out. I take my daughter out on dates as often as I can, when she has time for me. She don't have time for me as much, but when she does have time for me, I take her out on dates. I open the door for her. I put her on the other side of the street, because I want her to make sure that these are the expectations that you should have moving forward. So that's just me wanting a better life for her. Same thing with my son. Yeah. I'm respectful to the ladies or any lady that's around me. I'm respectful because I want him to see that, well, this is how my dad talks to my mom. This is how my dad talks to my grandmother and my sister. So this is how I'm going to speak. So these are just some pressures that we feel on ourselves. So if we don't never hear, like, I appreciate you,
Let me ask you this real quick. Sure. Do you feel in your family where you are that, do you feel like your efforts are recognized, and do you feel like you are enough being where you are in your family?
Great question. I think we all crave more. If you would ask me, could I be appreciated more, I would tell you yes. Okay. And that's just because I feel like I do more, I do a lot, so I want to be appreciated more. Obviously, that's human nature. We want that validation. We want that pat on the back. Yeah. And anybody that says that, oh no, I don't need that. Yeah. They're not being truthful. Right. Because we're human beings, and we have a battery that, as long as we're going, it's going to get drained. Yeah. Now, do I have a fair line of, this is my bare minimum, this is what I'm going to take, I do this because these are my expectations for myself? Yes, I have that. Yeah. I don't need attaboys for that, because those are the expectations I have on myself. Yeah. So, if I want to thank anybody, I'm gonna thank me. I'm gonna thank me.
Thank me for appreciating me.
Thank me for appreciating me. I want to thank me.
Snoop Dogg.
Prophet Snoop Dogg.
Well, bro, I mean, I appreciate your honesty in that, because it's rare that we come to a place where we can be honest about how we feel, about what we want,
Absolutely.
and about the expectations. Now, do you have a sense of fulfillment?
Now, yes.
Okay.
Now, my sense of fulfillment is different because I'm a watcher. I like to watch. I like to analyze. I like to sit back and I like to watch people's behaviors.
Yeah.
So when I can sit back and watch my kids' behaviors, and I can sit back and see the dedication that my daughter has when she goes to work. It's at the same time every day. She goes to sleep. And I tease her for it, because she goes to sleep early. But it's because she knows in order for me to wake up and be productive, I'm gonna get the necessary sleep that I need. I don't care how much you talk about me, and I see that and I recognize that. And she gets up like clockwork every day and goes to work. And I noticed she got that work ethic from both of us, me and her mom. But she's seen it. She wasn't like, oh, I'm too tired, or this is too early, or this is too far. She goes to work.
Prepares.
So that's my fulfillment when I see that. When I see the dedication my son has with who just had surgery, and they're like, okay, well, you're gonna need all this medication. He's like, I don't take pills. I don't do that. I'll take it if I need it. You can give it to me, but I'll take it if I need it. And it's more so of, I don't want to take pills. I don't want that artificial stimulant in my body that I don't want to become dependent on.
Right.
So it's the same mindset. We share the same mindset, and I don't have to say anything.
Okay.
So those are the things that fulfill me. Those are the small things. It's just, I sit back and I watch. I just sit back and I got 4 eyes. I gotta watch. So those are the things that fulfill me when I see it up close and at afar.
All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, what you got for us?
I got a good one. Number 2, respect is key. Respect is a cornerstone of what makes men feel valued, whether in the form of trust, admiration, or support. It strengthens the relationship and our self-worth. When I thought about that, I looked at it, I was like, respect is key. And I was like, well, what is respect? Because everybody just, I respect you as a man, but how do you go about and do that? Do you tell me? Do you talk at me? Do you, do you know me as a person enough to be able to tell me that I'm moving incorrectly without being disrespectful? How you talk to somebody is very important.
Right.
And again, our focus is for, we're speaking directly to the men, but we're also speaking to the women that love these men.
Right.
And so respect goes both ways. I would firstly tell men, because it starts with us, I always say we have to look in the mirror. In order for you to be respected, you have to respect the person you're with. You have to show respect.
Right.
And then you set the bar for how people talk to you. So if someone who's close to you is speaking disrespectful to you, you have to be man enough to acknowledge what you will and will not accept.
Right.
But then you have to also be man enough to articulate it in a way that doesn't come off as disrespectful. It comes off more informative. Instead of saying, don't be talking to me that way, that's disrespectful. Well, how you saying it is combative. You're making me defensive.
Right.
As opposed to saying, I appreciate what you're saying, however, it could have been done a little bit better. You could have told me a different way.
Or a big thing, really, really, really big challenge that men have, or human nature has, is recognizing and expressing their hurt. If someone is talking to you a certain way, how about say, you know what? I hear you. What you said just hurt me.
We don't even say that enough.
No,
we don't say that enough at all.
But we are hurt, but we mask that hurt with anger or a clapback, or how about, what you said just, damn, that really hurt me, right? And then that's going to catch the other person totally off guard because they're not expecting that because they don't hear that or feel that, right?
Right. They don't.
Sorry to cut you off. What?
And no, that was a great point. We don't say that enough.
Yeah.
I know I don't personally say that enough at all.
Yeah. Same.
You know, and you know, it's what's my favorite thing? Why don't we say it? I think it's
vulnerability.
That's that vulnerability or fear of being vulnerable. But for the men out there, I would say, if you have your significant other, she's there for a reason. Mm-hmm. So at some point, and I'm gonna be realistic, we're not gonna be vulnerable right off the bat.
Of course, we're not.
We're not. Hey, that if that's
or
one tip,
consistently, bro.
We're definitely not. It's gonna come out. It's gonna seep out little bit at a time. It's gonna be pause. It's going to express itself little at a time. We're not gonna open the floodgates. It's gonna sprinkle out. See me trying to work around it. It's going to express itself in small increments. We're not gonna just be, oh, I'm hurt. You did X, Y, Z. We're not going to do that, because I think if that happens, it's not going to be positive if it comes out like that off the bat.
I think even taking out the you did X, Y, Z, right? Because when you talk about you're basically pointing the finger and the other person is getting defensive. You know, you. So I learned and tell people, hey, you know, just talk about how what happened made me feel, right? You know, Barron, you said this. I felt, you know, man, I feel like you didn't care about me. I mean, I felt like, you know, that you know, I was just hurt, right? So just talk about how we feel, and that takes and the person lets their guard down. It brings down the energy in the room, and you're not pointing fingers, because you was an attack word. No matter how you say it, angry, soft, use an attack word, right?
No matter how you say it.
No matter how you say it.
Well,
you know, you did this and you did that. That's an attack word. Well, when I heard that you say, you know what, your breath stink, you know, like I felt, you know, I felt sad, you know, I felt hurt, you know, I felt like, you know, and I felt like I just felt like I just felt bad.
Right. And then you think about how, you know, when you say that and someone is actually listening, they're going to think about what they said. Right. So they're already self-reflecting without you having to say the you part of it. Right. So they're thinking already like, damn, I said that. Yeah. Like, I didn't mean it that way, but I hurt him. Yeah. So they automatically start self-reflecting in their head, and, you know, sometimes it may come out as, you know, that was, you know, my fault. Those weren't my intentions.
Well, only if they're emotionally secure and emotionally intelligent. That's it. Because
exactly. There's multiple ways that it can go multiple ways. We are speaking best case scenario. But honestly, though,
best case is like, you know, someone who has some freaking sense.
That makes
best sense scenario.
Yeah, that's best God-given sense. Case scenario, but. Honestly, like, if you can't be vulnerable and have those positive conversations, how we just narrated it just like that, then think about the person you're with. Like, why? Why are you with this person initially? Why are you with them? Because is it just what you saw on the outside? You know, is it monetary? You know, you're used to it, you're accustomed to this, and she provides this, and so you stick around for that. But at what cost? At the cost of being disrespected, the cost of being belittled, the cost of your self-doubt, doubting your own worth. That's not valuable enough for me to put up with that. So, you know, respect is key, but respect goes both ways. And if a person who you're with is consistently disrespecting you after you've done the positive stuff, and after you said you know, what you said hurt me, and they're still in a way where you feel attacked, then you have to ask yourself that question: why am I in this relationship? Because again, accountability, self-accountability, it all starts with you.
Yeah.
Who you have around you is up to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Or even a better question is, you have to be responsible for being disrespected, right? So if you're in a relationship where you're constantly being disrespected over and over and over again, you gotta pause and think, right? What role am I playing, right? If someone is constantly disrespecting you, at some point it's not them anymore.
Right.
It's you disrespecting yourself now, right? Because
you're not helping.
You're saying that I'm not worthy enough to be valued enough to have boundaries and keep those boundaries. So I keep allowing someone to disrespect me. But if you look at it like from a 30,000 foot view, it's you disrespecting yourself because you're allowing that mess to continue to happen over and over and over again.
Exactly.
So at some point you gotta start blaming them and like, you know what? I'm responsible for how someone respects me.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Ultimately, it starts with you. You know, it starts with you. And you have to make sure that you're respecting yourself, because how you speak to yourself and how you respect yourself is just as important as how others speak to you. You know, if I saw you talking to yourself crazy, like, man, I ain't doing nothing. I got this going on. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm a piece of shit. I'm just like, what am I supposed to? How am I supposed to talk to you at that point? You know, it's like one of us constantly say, no, you know, you're not. You're okay. Woo woo. No. No. You have to speak to yourself in the way that you would want someone to speak to you,
right?
And they're gonna get that from you and realize, oh, okay, well, shit, I'm not gonna talk to him crazy because he don't like that. He don't talk to me crazy.
Right.
So why did I have to talk? You know, I was, me and my wife were talking about something about, I forgot what it was. She said something that was crazy to me, but it made so much sense at the time. And I know I'm gonna mess it up, but I'm gonna give it my best. She said that when you are angry, be careful how you talk to your spouse, because you're not gonna be angry with them forever.
Right. That's perfect.
Damn, when she said that, I was like, damn, you're right.
But they're gonna always remember how you spoke to them.
How you spoke to them.
That's gonna affect them. Yeah.
So she said, make sure that you speak to your significant other, your spouse, whoever, with respect, and don't lose that sense of respect, because you're not gonna be mad forever. You guys are gonna have a patch where it's rough.
Right.
And then you're gonna have a smooth patch. And when it gets to that smooth patch, that person who you talk to crazy is gonna remember how you talk to them.
Right.
And they're gonna be defensive, and you're not gonna let that go. So you have to remember that if you're angry and it's an upsetting moment, that's what it is.
Right.
It's a moment.
It's a moment.
So,
but you gotta be mature enough emotionally. I keep saying that to be able to recognize that.
I ain't gonna lie. When she said that, I was like, what?
So that just takes us to, you know, our next one is as far as like confidence, right? And
good old
confidence isn't consistent. I'm sorry, confidence isn't constant, right? So men, like everyone, struggle with self-doubt, insecurities, and fears of failure. Yes, we do. They appreciate reassurance and support from their partners during these times. So I can for sure say that even though I may always appear to be confident, but it's not constant, you know.
Not at all.
I have doubt, you know, I struggle, I have insecurities, I have fear of failure, you know, and the reassurance sometimes helps, but not all the time, right? Because sports, right? My kids play basketball, football, track, and everybody that sees them perform raves on how talented they are, right? Talented they are. I tell them how talented they are, right? But at times when they get on that field or court, they become fearful and they don't perform at their best because they're scared, right? And I tell them, you know, everybody can see and believe how good you are, how great you're going to be, all this, but it does not matter if you don't believe it, right? So I can reassure you, your coach can reassure you, people on stands can reassure you, but if you're not sure of yourself, it does not matter what we see.
Not at all.
I used to, there was this quote that I used to believe, and it said, well, if you're not sure of yourself, borrow someone else is sure of you until you're sure of yourself. I don't believe that's true, right? Because you can't borrow what you don't know how to use, right?
Or you misuse it.
Right? So if I say, hey, Abby, let me borrow your
a McLaren.
Your McLaren, right? Your McLaren, but I have no clue how to drive a stick, right? Like, or how to open the suicide doors, right? It's like there's no point, right? So
you're just gonna mess it up,
right. So even though people reassure you, and it helps that people have confidence in you, but you have to, at times, all the time, reassure yourself, right? There's this book that I want to get by Mel Robbins, right? It's called I think the High Five Method, where it shows you every day how to give yourself a high five in the mirror because you're building your own self-confidence. But even though we struggle with that self-doubt, the insecurities and fear of failure, that's present for us as men. But we have to get to a point where I overcome them and see what other people see in me, right? Because just because people see it doesn't mean I believe it.
True. That is so true. It is very important that we build ourselves up.
Right.
Do we doubt? All the time, daily? Do we feel that we could do more? All the time. Do we feel that we're not doing enough? All the time. But when you have to be able to say, so like you said, I don't necessarily subscribe to borrowing confidence from another place that's not within you, but I do believe in acting in confidence even when you don't feel it.
That's what we do.
Even when you don't feel it, you need to walk in it because you know what you're doing. You know that there's only one you. You have to hold on to some core 4 elements of yourself. You have to know that you are valuable. You have to know that your self-worth, that there's only one of you. There's only one of you that you only can offer. Anthony can only offer the world when Anthony can only offer the world. Barron can only offer the world what Barron. I can't offer the world Anthony, and Anthony can't offer the world Barron. But together we can offer the world a lot more than just one perspective. So you have to know who you are as a person, and then it ties into your spirituality. We are wonderfully made. God don't make no mistakes. So there's power in us. Now, whether we see it or not, that's up to us. Whether we use it or not, that's up to us. But there's power there. And that's the point of what we do is we want these men to know that they're kings. We want these men to know, hey, the crown on your head, bro, is either dull and you need to shine it up. The crown on your head is about to fall off, so you need to hang.
Adjust your crown.
Adjust your crown. That's all we're here for, is to recognize, and we want other kings to recognize how powerful they are. So we are pushing confidence so that if guys are lacking confidence, that we got your back, bro. We want, even if you don't hear it from anybody else, you're hearing it from us. You're kings, you're a king, and you have a crown, so polish that crown. Everybody's crown is different. Your crown is not my crown, my crown is not your crown. But we still have crowns. And those crowns need to be polished. Those crowns need to be cherished and cultivated on a daily, hourly basis. So confidence is key. And we need to have it within ourselves so that we can let that confidence light shine to others. And then when you walk into a room, it's just certain way people look at you. Just by A, what you're wearing, B, how you're speaking, C, your posture, your eye contact, your handshakes. They're like, okay, but these are fundamental things that we should have learned as young men.
Yeah.
And that's our core at our best, no matter how we feeling financially,
Yeah.
no matter how we're feeling like, we don't have our shit together, but when we walk into a room, that room don't know that.
Yeah. Unless you tell them.
Unless you tell them. When I was in school, I had a really big fear of public speaking when I was in college. Really big fear of public speaking. I avoided speech. I avoided all of that stuff for a lot of my college career until I couldn't anymore. Mm. When I spoke to him, I was to the point where I had to speak to my professor like, I can't do that. And he's like, why? You have all the information in front of you. You know the information. Why can't you do it? It's just speaking in front of people bothers me. It concerns me. It's like, she says, why? She says, I don't know why. Mm. She says, so you're going to let something hold you back and you don't even know why?
Right.
And then she gives me this question. She says, are you stupid? Bro, I got offended. Like, hell no. That's one pet peeve of mine when people insult my intelligence. Yeah. And I know that about myself. So when somebody says that, I automatically get confident. I automatically get like, oh, you don't think I can do this? Yeah. Okay. So I got up there and she said, before you go up there, just find a spot in the room. Yeah. Stare at that spot. Yeah. And run off. And if you nail everything, great. If you don't, great. Yeah. They don't know you didn't nail everything.
Right.
So go up there, be confident, and knock it out. And it wasn't. I didn't hit the ball right out the field the first time I did it. I didn't. Yeah. But as I got better, I got better. Mm-hmm. So now I use that when I'm fearful of something. I just have to take the first step. Yeah. Just have to take the first step in confidence and then move forward in that and just get better every time and don't regress. Like that. So, and our professor was really Professor Thompson. I don't know if you're listening, but I remembered you. I remember everything you said. So shout out to you. But yeah, so confidence is key. Confidence is key.
It's always constant. So
it's always constant.
It's not always constant.
It's not all confidence is not always constant. But you should constantly be feeling yourself. Right. You should constantly be telling yourself positive affirmations. Right. That's the only thing that's going to be constant. Yeah. Because confidence is going to.
Right. And like just because that man appears to be confident, appears to have it all together, it goes back to asking questions, right? Making sure that he's good, asking questions, reassurance. So, boom.
Absolutely. Right. So,
what's the next one?
Oh, that's crazy because we're just tying it all in. So, next one is we appreciate direct communication. Men often prefer straightforward communication. Guessing or reading between the lines can be difficult. So clear, honest conversations are appreciated. Right. Man, I don't even know how to even start with that one, but yes, I do. Well, I'm gonna let you hold that one because I'm gonna say we prefer direct communication. Right. We prefer if something's on your mind, let us know what's on your mind. Yeah. Don't assume that we're going to guess what's on your mind because we're too busy. Here's a little tip for the ladies. We're in our heads so much. Right. We don't have time to guess. Right. We don't have time to figure out reading between the lines. If you walk in the door and don't say anything, like, oh, I'm gonna give her a space. Yeah. As opposed to you may want us to ask, what's wrong? Yeah. We don't necessarily do that. Yeah. So, I think it's we expect and we appreciate that direct communication. We don't leave us to guess because when we get to guessing,
you're not gonna guess.
We're not gonna guess, and you're gonna be mad, and it's gonna just snowball and grow into something that it didn't even have to get into. Yeah. So, and it doesn't stay. And what we need to realize, and what the ladies in our lives need to realize, it never takes a lot for us. Right. You don't even need to kick the door in. You could just crack the door and you're gonna get all the information you need. So, it's just subtle, but yet still direct conversations, direct communication. If you're mad, if you are, just let us know. If we did something, let us know. Because 10 times out of 10, you just got to let us know one time.
Right.
It'll probably never happen again.
Right.
If who you're with is smart and, intuitive and concerning and impersonal and is present in the relationship, yeah, some shit just falls through the cracks.
Yeah, facts.
So you just got to let us know. It's not the end of the world. Just let us know, and we'll be better off for it. Everybody will be.
Yeah.
So, but I'm curious. I want to hear your take on that.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Right. So
I'm putting the paper down.
So I agree with everything you said. I agree with. There's one comment or statement that I hear from ladies when I talk to men is that the comment is this: well, you should know, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, he does not know.
No matter how long they've been together.
No matter how long, he does not know. Nope. Doesn't mean he doesn't care about you. He just wants. We want direct communication. A, B, C. Okay, let's work on that.
Yep.
But if you walking around the house upset, pouting,
loud breathing,
and then, well, you should know. No, he does not know. Right. That's when you sit down and have an adult conversation about how you feel.
Yep.
You've been with me this long. You should know. No, he does not know. And I keep saying the same thing over and over again because I want to beat that.
Yep.
That what's it called? That whatever. I want to beat into you. Right.
Pause.
Pause. He does not know. He does not know what you're thinking. He does not know how you feel. He knows that you're upset.
Right.
And he may want to hop in as a fixer, but then maybe not. Just express how you feel. Just talk about how you feel because he does not know. And you're going to save yourself headaches, anger, high blood pressure, fights. You're going to save yourself all that by just having direct communication. Hey, hon, this happened. This is how I feel. Let's talk about it. Okay, let's do it. Right.
Let's sit down and talk about it.
If you want that man to guess and try to figure out, maybe he will try to, but I guarantee you that will get old.
Yeah.
It will get old, and he will just stop and leave you be, and then you're gonna be more upset. You're gonna get more wrinkles, more stress, lack of sex, lack of sleep, lack of vacations, lack of bonding. It's like.
That's a lot of lacks.
That's a lot of lacks.
That's a lot of lacks.
That can be solved by proper communication and direct communication.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying again, he does not know.
Let him know. Don't assume.
Don't assume
that he knows because he doesn't. And it's not for lack of trying.
Right.
It's just, and we're fixers. We want to fix it, which is why we want the direct communication, which is why we want the ABCs of it. Yeah. However, ladies, if what you want to speak about doesn't require fixing, you just want to get something off your chest.
Right.
That's just, hey, I just want to get this off my chest. Yeah. I don't need you to fix this. I just need you to listen and be present.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. My wife comes home every day from work, and every day I know I have to dedicate at least, I'm going to be nice and say 10 to 15 minutes of just hearing her crazy day at work.
Yeah.
And I try to be present in that because she doesn't really want me to be like, oh, really? Or like, oh, well, how can I do? She just wants to get it off. Decompress and get it off. So as her best friend, I have to sit there and listen and let her get that off of her. Yeah. So, and I do. But first I didn't. I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear about another call. I don't want to hear it's work. Why are you bringing work home?
Yeah.
Well, you can bring work home if you need to get it off.
Right.
So that's why she brings work home, because she knows she can get it off and it'll be done. And now enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So, I have to know when. My wife's very good at that. Sometimes she's over directly communicative, and she's like, I need you to do XYZ, or this is XYZ, this is how I feel, and I've never done this, so I need you to do this for me. I look to you to do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
be careful what you ask for. You know, you ask for direct communication, and yeah, you get it. So I appreciate and respect her for that, because she doesn't leave. I don't have to guess nothing.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, that's cool. If any,
that's like work though. I mean, I'm sure you gotta get to that point. But because like most relationships, like, well, if you love me, you would know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
No. Well, I guess I don't love you then.
Yeah. I guess I don't love you.
I
I wonder this though. Do men? I know we're saying, you know, the ladies, but do men sometimes think that you know, you love me, so if I'm a little quiet, you should know something's wrong with me. If I'm a little, you know,
and like one of my thoughts was in the past has been, if you love me, you understand how much pressure I'm under.
Right.
But it's up to us to communicate that. We gotta use this, right?
Yeah.
God give us this to speak.
Yep.
To talk, right?
Yep.
You know, we first process it in our brains, you know, and then speak from our heart, right?
That's our filter.
That's a filter, right? That's it. And then again, maybe you shouldn't speak from your heart, because sometimes the heart can lie to you, right? So just really process it and speak, and just speak with love and care, because that can go both ways, right? So yeah, it can go both ways.
Yeah, I think that we sometimes because what we say, we suffer in silence.
Yeah.
And it's not because we have to. We just sometimes don't know how to.
Yeah.
Or we assume that, you know, you've been with me for 20 years.
Right.
You know when my energy is off. So you should know how to fix it.
Well, I think that's okay.
You think?
I think that your significant other should know where your energy's off, but we shouldn't have to guess on why it's off, right? Because
that's valid.
Like me, I know based on my programming, based on my experience, based on how I grew up, if I feel her energy is off, I'm gonna think it's me, and then I'm like, kind of like back down and shy away, and most times it's not. Right. And then if she feels that way, she gonna think it's something that she did, right?
It's that mind playing.
It's that mind. So I think you should know your partner's energy when it's up or down, on or off, know how they vibrate, but not be in a position where you have to guess and figure out what's wrong with them. And then if you don't guess right, you're in a sense in trouble.
Yeah, right? That's valid.
That's valid.
That's valid.
Yeah,
no, yeah. And the word, when people say, so when I first got married and I was hanging out, I was still married, about maybe 2 or 3 years in, and I would go and still hang out with my boys. They would say things like, "Oh, we gotta hurry up and get you home.
Yeah.
We don't want to get you in trouble."
Yeah.
My defensive mechanism, I'm a grown ass man. Children get in trouble.
Yeah,
I don't get in trouble. Like, I'm not going to get in trouble, but what I can do is be respectful. If I'm going to be out later than I have to, me and my wife have an understanding. Like, if you're going to be out later than you said you were, shoot me a call. You didn't have to call me.
Communicate.
Just text me and be like, look, we're going to hit XYZ, blah, blah, blah. I thought I was going to be home at this time, but I'm going to wind up being home this time.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay.
It's easy. So I think we have to just learn to communicate, and we have to learn to be open and honest. Yeah. But I got defensive when people say you're going to get in trouble.
I hear that.
Children get in trouble.
Right. I ain't no child.
I ain't no child. Children get in trouble. So definitely we appreciate direct communication.
Yeah, right.
So
it works for us.
Yep, it works for us. What's next on our list?
Number 5, right? Number 5 is that we want to feel like protectors. Yeah. Many men have an innate desire to protect and provide. Even in today's modern world, knowing they are fulfilling this role brings them a sense of purpose. I'm gonna say hands down, yes. Even the small things. I mean, actually, it's not small. So, a year or so ago, my partner, my wife was in an accident, right? A car accident. Minor. accident. But when she called me, it was, well, he said she backed into a guy, right? He's saying this. He's saying that the car was, it was poorly built. He's saying we should do this. He's saying, I'm like, first of all, pump your brakes.
Right.
I'm your husband, not him, right? I'm the one you come to, not him, right? And then I've been in situations where the protection and the advice of other people were taking over mine, right? And I'm like, okay, again, and even though I feel I've done a damn good job of protecting and providing for my family, right? But it's just that sense is that I feel like even if you're in a position where you feel that your man is not doing what he needs to do, he can learn, right? But don't ever make him feel like he's not the protector of the family, because that will play on his self-esteem and also dictate and start to affect your relationship with him.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So we want to feel like we're protectors and providers, because that's how we were built. We were made to be hunter-gatherers, right? That's who we are, right?
And exactly right. We're supposed to. And, here's a self-reflecting question, and then I'll continue. I want you to think about this. Think about the type of man or person you were in totality, right? Think about that person you was before you had kids, before you got married. What was your thought process like? What was your sense of your self-value like? Because I know for me, I was without kids, without family. I was, I lived free. I played ball all day.
Yeah.
I went home, I slept, and I went out at night. Yeah, well, yeah. That was, I went out.
Yeah.
I went out, but I didn't have any guardrails.
Yeah.
Once I had a family, I remember to this day where I was, how I felt, and what I thought after I found out my daughter was going to be born, my son was going to be born. When I found out I was going to have a daughter, I gave myself, I was in college, so I was in college, running track, going to certain classes, not going to other classes, hanging out, just being irresponsible, but yet still trying to take care of my business in college, right? And once I found out my daughter was going to be born, I'm like, shit, okay, I got 7 months. Even though, it takes more than that for your child to be born, but I have 7 months to get my shit together. I have 7 months to get a real job with benefits, and I worked diligently to do that because I didn't want her to be born into a quote unquote reckless lifestyle. I wanted her to have some stability. I couldn't just be this crazy, wild, free kid in college when I'd done this. These are the consequences of my actions. So I grew up real quick. Same thing with my son. I was like, oh, okay, now I got two of these things. Like, okay, wow, all right. I was on the basketball court then when I found out he was coming to this world. So I was like, oh, well, let me finish this game first, and then we could talk about it. So literally, basketball is in his blood because that's all he knows.
Yeah.
But again, like I had to grow up. Like I don't even think at that time I don't remember how many jobs I had. I had a few of them.
At once.
I think the most I've ever had was like 3. I think I had 4 jobs at one time.
Wow. Okay.
I had 4 at one time, and it was mainly because I didn't want to let one go. I could have done that, but I didn't want to let one go. So I had to have purpose, and how I move now and how I moved when I found out they were born is the same way. Like they are looking at you. They are they expect something. They expect you to provide. They expect provisions from you. They expect a roof over their head. They didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
So you have to do this. Same thing when you get married. Like now I'm taking care of myself, my 2 kids, and my wife. So it's a whole nother person.
Yeah.
So imagine that pressure that you have on yourself 24/7. You have to make sure that the lack is not there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a pressure in itself that we hold ourselves accountable to. And we don't need any help adding pressure on ourselves. We don't need help telling us what we should do, because we do it to ourselves enough.
Right.
We don't need help with that. So, you know, the fun fact is that, ladies, we don't need help when making us feel bad, because 10 times out of 10, we're already doing it. We need help to climb out of the darkness.
Yeah.
We need help to stay in the light.
Yeah.
That's what we need help with.
Yeah.
So,
I want to touch on real quick, providing, right? Because in some situations, the wife or the other makes more than the husband or the boyfriend, right? That happens, and that's okay, right? It's a family. So providing is not always providing money, right? As a man, you provide protection, you provide guidance, you provide counsel, you provide all these things other than just money, right? So I just want to make sure that provision, that we know it's not just about money,
monetary,
right? It's about a myriad of things. You protect and you provide leadership, for your family, guidance, right?
Yep.
So that's what it's about.
How we act in stressful situations dictates how our family acts.
Right.
How we act in blissful situations dictates how our family acts.
Yeah.
So we're natural leaders. We're the head of our households. We're natural protectors. We're natural provision givers. So those are a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of hats, and we only have one thing on the head of our shoulders. I can't say we only got one of these things. So we got to make sure that we use wisdom, and we make sure that we use it correctly. It may not be as fast as we want. We may not move as quick as we want, but as long as we're moving correctly and our family is in alignment with that, then I think progression and success and a happy family life is birthed from that.
Right.
So and this was a great one. We had 10 of them things.
10 of them things. So we wrapped up part 2.
Part 2 is a wrap.
10 things now. The
10 things.
10 things that men wish women know about us. So again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being a part of the podcast, part of the family. Anything you want to add?
Nah, we appreciate you. That's our show. It's a wrap.
So like, share, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching Truth About Him, the #1 podcast for men's mental health and wellness. We'll see you soon. Bye.